The following is a brief video on how to set up and operate the Renaissance II spirometer equipment. This is the equipment. Basically, this is the computer brain that does all the work. This is a docking station that this computer brain sits in. The rear of the docking station has the connection on the left is the connection that goes to the printer. The one on the right is the electrical connection. This is the electrical piece that should say Puritan Bennett AC/DC adapter. This piece of equipment fits down in the cradle like that, and then the electrical equipment and the cable go in the back. You have a printer, a Hewlett-Packard 5650 printer. The power source should look something like this and goes in the rear along with the cable. This is the cable that goes both in the rear of the printer and hooks up to the rear of the spirometer. This is a calibration syringe that you have to use at the beginning of each session. And then there are hard plastic tubes that are used both for the calibration as well as for the patients to blow in. These are all packaged individually, and they are to be thrown away after each patient. At the beginning of each day, you have to do a calibration check. You only have to do it once, and then you include a copy of it with any test that you do that day. But the hard plastic piece should fit right down into the end of this calibration syringe. You have to kind of squeeze it a little bit to get it in, and you see how it sits in the calibration syringe. And you go to the machine, you turn it on, and it will go through a self-test, and then it'll say self-test in progress, and then proceed. You hit the button for proceed, and it'll either come up this way with a number of windows that you can choose from, or it'll say cal check at the very beginning. Do you want to do a cal check? And if so, you hit yes. And it asks you to enter the sensor code. The sensor code again is on the piece of this black plastic. The code here is 355860. So I enter 355860 and hit done. And then it says attach sensor to syringe, which we've already done. And then it instructs you to pull the plunger out. So you pull this plunger. It's like a huge, almost medical syringe. So you pull the plunger all the way out, and then you hit proceed. And it says zeroing in on sensor, push plunger in smoothly over approximately 2 seconds. So you just push this plunger in like this, and then the machine says for expiratory only, press done, which is what we're doing. So you want to hit done. And then it says calibration check, and it has the information there. So you want to hit print because we have to print and save, as I said, calibration done once at the beginning of each day. So you hit print, at which point the printer will print out the calibration check. And as I said, you only have to do this once at the beginning of each day. And it's only one page. And it has a graph at the bottom. At the top it'll have the date, the last cal check, and so just save this and again put a copy with every spirometer test you do that day. And then each new day, you have to do a calibration check at the beginning of each day. So you can see how I have this hooked up. Now when you get ready to actually perform the test on a patient, we hit done here because we're done with the calibration check, and then it comes up a screen, and I don't know if you can see this or not, but The number one is new patient, so you hit new patient. It says start a new patient, and you want to say yes. Hit the button that says yes. And it has ID. You can actually use this button here to scroll down. So scroll down to name, and you can put in a name. I'll just put in some letters. As you see, there's a box off to the right here that shows you the letters and how you type them in. And then height goes in inches. So let's say I'm 5'10", so there'd be 60 inches. And then the birth date, 12th of April. It gives you the ability to change that. The year, my year is 1946. Gender, 1 is male, 2 is female, so 1. Race, 3 is Caucasian. And that's all you have to enter. And so then hit done at the bottom of the screen, and it'll take you to the next screen. And then this screen says number 1, new patient, 2, test, 3, view, 4, edit, and so forth. You hit number 2 here for test, and then the next screen that comes up will have number 1 will be FVC, number 2 is SVC, number 3 is SSD Cal, and so forth. You want to hit number 1. You'll always hit number 1 on this test. So we always want to do an FVC, number 1. And again, it asks you to swipe or enter the sensor code, which we're going to do. Again, it's 355860, so it's 355860. And then I hit done. It says sensor zeroing in, and then this screen will appear. Again, I don't know if you can see this very well or not, but it says start test. Says FVC test, and when this screen comes up is when you start the patient blowing. Now, I will tell you that normally what I do is I set the patient down. I don't let them do the test while they're standing. It tends to make them a little lightheaded. And prior to this part of the test, you really need to go ahead and explain before you get this far the test and how it's going to work. And what you're going to actually have the patient do is take a deep breath, and they're going to blow in this end, not the flanged end, but the other end, this end right here. They're going to blow in that end. So what I tell them to do is imagine that you've got a birthday cake and you want to blow out all of the candles. So they're going to take a real deep breath and put their mouth around this end and blow out very hard and keep pushing. And the trick to this is that the person has to blow out for 6 seconds. In the machine for it to take the test, and if it's not long enough, the machine will tell you, the test was not accepted. I normally have them do 4 attempts, so you have them blow, and I'm going to go through this with you and show you how to do it. But you have the person blow into the test, into the tube. Then each time they're done, you hit done or save on the screen. And then it comes back to the same screen for that shows the FVC, SVC, and so it comes back to that test. So you just hit number 1 again for FVC, and again it goes back to detecting the sensor, and then this screen comes back up that says start test. So you do that 4 times. And hit save with each one. If for some reason the patient is coughing or cannot do one of the tests, or the machine indicates to you that the test was unacceptable, then do another test. But we have to have 3 tests that are good that the computer accepts. I'm going to demonstrate now. I'll actually act like I'm a patient, and I will demonstrate to you how you need to do it. And I would just recommend also that you really need to coach the patients. They tend to attempt not to want to give you good effort on this test, but if they don't give a good effort blowing out, then the machine is not going to accept it, and Social Security is not going to accept it. They're going to make them come back. So they have to give a good effort, and if they start coughing, or if it's obvious they didn't take a deep breath, whatever, have them do another test. We have to get 3 good ones, so I normally have them do a minimum of 4, and we may do more than 4 depending on whether or not you can get 3 good tests. All right, now we're ready to begin. you first off take the plastic sensor and connect it to the tube that comes out of the spirometry machine. There's a little plastic tube and it connects with a gray piece. There's a little end that sticks out, if you can see it here, from that tube, and you connect the this gray piece to that little piece on the clear hard plastic tube. This is a little better picture of the tube that we use for the calibration and for the actual test. There is a number, probably a little hard to see here. It says cal, and then there's a number on here that we have to enter into the calibration syringe. As you can see here, this is the power cable and the connector to the printer that's hooked up to the rear of the cradle that the spirometer sits in. As you can see here, these are the two connectors for the power cord and for the cable on the back of the printer. So once you've done 3 of these, then you hit done at the bottom of this screen. And then the screen will come up, that'll give you a number of options, and you want to check number 6, option number 6, which is print. It's right over here. So you hit print, and then you want to hit best 3, which is number 4. It's right here, number 4, which says best 3. So you hit number 4 here, and then it'll print that test out. This test will print 2 pages. The first page will have a number of numbers at the top, as you see here, and then it'll have graphs at the bottom, and or it can print in 2 pages. This one printed in 2 pages, where the numbers at the top of this one and the graph is on this one. What you want to do then is you want to look, and on this page, and I'm not sure you can see it here, but right here toward the left hand side, it says best FEV1%, and then it'll have a number there. Mine was 81. So what you want to do is you want to look at that page and take and see what the best FEV1% was. And if it's less than 70, you have to have the patient take an inhaler. They take a rescue inhaler, which is a short-acting inhaler, and then they normally wait about 10 to 15 minutes, and then you have to repeat the test again after they've had the inhaler. And if this best FEV1 right here, if it says if it's more than 70%, then you do not give the inhaler, and you basically finished. So you send in the pages. It could all be on one page like this one, or it could be this one where it actually printed it on 2 different pages. But you send these 2 pages in along with a copy of the calibration. This is the calibration that we did. Now, if the claimant has a best FEV1 of less than 70%, then you go back in, you go to the screen that has the number 1 FVC, number 2 FVC, number 3 SS decal, and if you look at the bottom of that screen, you probably cannot see it on here, but at the bottom it says done and it says post. And so if you have to do the second part of the test, you want to mark it so that the disability office knows which one is the post test or which one was the test done after you gave the inhaler, or post bronchodilator. So you hit the post button, and it says change to post med test mode ? And you hit yes. And then it goes back to that screen again with 1, which is FVC. So you hit the 1 for FVC, and it goes back through the same thing we just did. It just marks it as the post test. And then when you finish that, again, you do 4 and then you print those out. Now, this form will have at the bottom of it, and again, probably can't see it here, but it says report summary, and it says on here number test, pre-med, test 3, acceptable 1, reproducible 2, and then it'll do the same thing for the post. So you want a minimum of 2 to be reproducible. You prefer to have 3 reproducible and 3 acceptable, but you've got to have at least 2 minimum for disability to take the report. So if you print this out and you don't have that many, you probably need to do another breath or 2 with the patient. So that's the pulmonary function study in brief. You're free to call me anytime if you have any questions. Again, just remember to do a calibration check at the beginning of each day, and then put a copy of that in with each spirometry. The main thing is to try to get 3 acceptable or reproducible tests with each patient. Thank you. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call, 443-838-1168. Again, this is Dr. Fox. Okay, so when you get ready to do the test, you want the screen that says number 1 FVC. So you press that, and then it'll say detecting sensor, and then the start test screen will come up, and then you start the patient blowing. So tell them to take a deep breath, blow out, and keep blowing until you tell you to stop, like this. Okay, and the screen will count off the seconds. Hopefully you can get them to go to 6, and then you hit save. And then the screen that was there first will come back up again. And again, you pick number 1, FVC. So you hit that, and again it detects the sensor. And then the test screen will come up that says start test. So again, same thing, tell them to take a deep breath and put the mouth around this and blow out as hard as they can and keep pushing for 6 seconds. Okay, then hit save, and you want to do that for 4 times. So each time you hit save, you come back to the FVC screen, you hit number 1, and then give them a minute or 2 to rest, and then do it again.